Thank you for joining me. I'm meteorologist Brian Shields, and a lot of important information to get to. It is getting more active. That is typical for this time of year. What is not quite normal is that we're watching way out here. Here's the coast of Africa, and you see this blob here. This may develop as it approaches us in the Caribbean. With that said, usually we look out here for development later in July into August. So this is running way ahead of schedule for development out here. Water temperatures are warm enough for some development. So I want to get into what I'm seeing with that. In the other area I'm watching in the Caribbean, it is busy. I'm going to cover everything in this video, but I want to begin with this. We are now in monitor mode. That means we're just waiting and kind of watching, but we're alert. So we're keeping an eye out for this area. Anywhere across the Eastern Caribbean, anywhere really from Anguilla down to the south through Trinidad and Tobago. So that includes Dominica, Saba, Statia. You pick a spot. Same thing to the Grenadines, Grenada, Barbados, St. Lucia, for example. Sunday into Monday, we're going to see this tropical disturbance move our way. At that point, there is a chance it could become a tropical storm. Not all the models and environmental conditions are showing that. I'm going to go into that in this video, but we need to be on alert. Some dry air and dust is around it, and that could help us and help kind of prevent this from developing. But as of now, we are in monitor mode, so thank you for getting the word out about this, and that's why I do this channel, to give the early heads up on weather. Not that anything crazy is coming at this time, but definitely has my attention, and this is the spot we are watching. So we have that one area out there I'm watching, and then this here, this was the fast moving tropical wave. It actually moved through even faster than I thought in Trinidad. We had some rain overnight a couple nights ago, but it wasn't this widespread rain event because this tropical disturbance has moved so quickly, getting closer to Jamaica today than this disturbance near Bermuda. Not seeing any signs of development out of that. So a busier pattern. Here's this tropical disturbance. Now, my friends in Honduras, Nicaragua, Belize, and the Yucatan of Mexico, this is going to be working our way toward the next couple of days, over the next couple of days. It'll increase our chance of rain later in the week. I will watch out for any signs of development in this. As of now, I'm not seeing that. So I'll get back to that in a moment. I'm not going to leave anyone hanging. Now, let me get to this. Here's the European model. This map's a little different. Here's Puerto Rico, for example. Here's Trinidad. Here's Barbados. So right through here we are in the Caribbean. It's this area here I'm watching for development. High pressure's up here. That's the big blocker this year. We didn't have as much of that last year, kind of the Bermuda high, if you will. But that being up here will allow this tropical disturbance to continue to make its way off toward the west over the next few days. It's not going to make an early turn or anything like that, especially because it's not developed. If it was spinning more, that would actually have more of a propensity to kind of lift to the north. Anyway, I'll leave that science stuff on the back burner for a second. Let me move out in time. This here is on Saturday. Here is the Caribbean, and you see this area here. Now, the European model shows some development, but it does not make it at this point into a tropical storm. There's some wind shear up here, and there's some dry pockets of air, a little bit of dust around that may eat away at this, which would be a good thing. So you see here, right here, this here is by the time we get into Sunday. So this is when some sort of system or just a tropical disturbance would be moving in. High pressure and control, keeping this moving generally to the west or the west-northwest. So the European model has increased rain moving in on Monday, could have some gusty winds, but at this point, it's not showing a tropical storm. May try to become a tropical depression, but the European model is seeing some dry air. Then as we work our way into Monday, some increased rain, and there's actually another tropical disturbance behind it that also does have a slight chance of developing. So a very busy pattern as expected as we head into July. So that's the European model. Now let me switch over here and show you the American model. The American model is showing a tropical storm. The American model is usually a little bit more aggressive. It's a computer, while the European model sometimes is less aggressive. They kind of need to meet in the middle, and that's why I look at everything. This here would be Friday. So here's Dominica, for example. You see this here. This has it spinning up rather quickly into a tropical depression or a tropical storm. Let me stop the clock here. This is on Saturday. On Saturday, it has it as a tropical storm. When you watch my video tomorrow, let's see what the American model has on Saturday. If it still has it as a tropical storm, then it's going to be more likely it will be a tropical storm. We'll see if it does back off on the development. But here by Sunday, it has a tropical storm approaching the Caribbean. And then after that, that would kind of work in with gustier winds and heavier rain as we work our way really into Monday. So the European model has a strong tropical wave, heavy rain. We'll have to fine tune where that may exactly go, while the American model has a tropical storm developing. And then behind it, like the European model, another strong area that may also try to develop. This is a bit down the road, so I'm going to be covering this. We're going to see changes. Weather's hard to forecast over a couple days, yet alone 5 to 6 days out. Now, trying to find this system with the winds. First, we have this tropical disturbance sliding through the Caribbean, not seeing signs of development. Here we are in Belize. And then you see over here, this wind model is the American model. You can see how it starts to spin something up. Let me stop the clock here. This is Friday. Some gustier winds, Honduras over toward San Andres, Providencia pulling back toward Belize over toward Roatan. And then you see here, this spot here, that's the American model trying to develop a tropical storm. This is by the time we get into Saturday afternoon, and you see some gustier winds, but the area here kind of runs out of real estate, runs out of warm water. It runs into the Yucatan and Central America, so it's going to be hard for this to develop. But this catching your attention here, this is the potential of a tropical depression or tropical storm headed toward the Caribbean. With that said, this is one computer model. So a lot of times you'll see on social media, as you well know, other channels, you get shown kind of the scariest scenario. I show you everything I'm seeing, so we're prepared. But with that said, there's a lot of variables out there. This would be Sunday afternoon, and this could happen. We will see. This would be an approaching tropical storm that would move in on Monday. So the European model says, yes, we're going to get some rain and gusty winds, but it'll be okay, while the other side, the American model, saying, hey, this could be a healthier tropical storm. Now, what I'm watching is not just the models. Those are computers. What's going on in the environment. So it's this cluster here of rain and storms I'm watching. This here is some dust in dry air. There's some dust around. It's not as much as we had about a month or two ago, but this is some of the dry air ahead of it. And that's why the European model is saying, hey, as this moves toward the Caribbean, it's going to deal with some dry air. Thus, it may not develop. So let me break it down now. So we are in monitor mode in the Eastern Caribbean. That means a wait and see and just kind of getting the word out. The European model says no storm. The American model says, yes, this will be a tropical storm. The Canadian model, to give you some other ideas, says, no, this won't be a storm. And then somewhere in the middle, the ICON, the German model, says this will be a tropical depression. They are all seeing something. At the least, it'll be a stronger tropical disturbance moving in. At the worst, it would be a tropical storm, maybe even a stronger one that will head our way by the time we hit into Monday. I tell you what I know, what I don't know, and I'm not sure yet because it's very hard to tell when it's just kind of an area of rain and storms out there that's not organized. But I showed you what I was thinking with some of that dry air. That's what I'll be watching, some of the dust, and putting us under monitor mode, watching that across the Eastern Caribbean closely. If we do see something moving in, the day would be Monday. So that takes care of that for the most part, watching it nonstop, as you well know. I don't sleep much this time of year. As we go forward here, this is a closer look at this tropical disturbance. Here's Jamaica, Cayman Islands, Cuba, here's Haiti. Now this will flare up a little bit. As expected, it did not develop in the short term. Conditions are more conducive in the long term to develop, but then of course it starts to run into land. There's a slight chance this spins up, but either way, the issue with this is it will enhance our chance of rain. On Friday, we're going to see that rain chance picking up. Belize, Honduras, over toward Nicaragua, even Costa Rica and Panama. This will kind of enhance the rain. And then as we work our way into Saturday, spilling over into the Yucatan and Mexico, and then Guatemala, and you see the increased rain here on Saturday. So as of now, it doesn't look like this will be a named system, but we are going to see that higher chance of rain. And on the backside of it, Cayman Islands, even Jamaica, will get a better chance of some scattered showers and storms as we work our way into the upcoming weekend. And then we'll be watching this coming in here, whatever that is, either just a strong tropical wave or the potential of a named system that will be approaching this weekend and moving our way as we get into Monday. So as far as this system goes, the European, the American, the Canadian, the German all have this not as a named storm. The Canadian model does have this trying to develop into a tropical depression once it moves over toward the Bay of Campeche, and I'll be watching that, of course, for Mexico. Now the seas are going to be elevated. Let me get to that piece. This is with that one tropical disturbance here, but I want to show you in time what happens when that area off the coast of Africa moves closer. So watching these choppier seas, we were talking about that in yesterday's video. This here is on our Thursday, choppier seas near Jamaica and then sliding back toward Central America. This here is on Friday. Now as we go from Friday to Saturday, still this area in here, we're going to see some higher seas, Western Gulf and the Bay of Campeche, but then that may be catching your eye as we get into Saturday and then Sunday. If this does develop, we're going to see increased seas. We'll see increased seas regardless of the development out of this. It just depends on how high the seas are, or it just depends on how strong this is to see how high those seas will be. But giving that early heads up, very increased waters in that sector once we get into Sunday and then especially Monday and Tuesday of next week. Now, as far as the shorter term rain totals go, we're looking at scattered rain and storms. If you get a thunderstorm, 50 millimeters or 2 inches of rain will be possible. Bahamas could see a few over toward the Dominican Republic. Here's Cuba, some spotty storms. Jamaica, Cayman Islands, some scattered showers and storms. Once again, northeastern Caribbean, not as much, but we'll see how this next system evolves. That may give us a better chance of rain once we get into Monday, and we'll see how gusty these winds will be. Martinique through Barbados, down through Trinidad and Grenada, spotty showers and storms. Now, we've had some flooding overnight. Suriname, I've been watching that. There's been big areas of flooding, so keep me posted in the comments. Guyana and Suriname, an additional 100 millimeters or 4 inches of rain over the next 3 days will be possible. Watching out for some scattered rain and storms, Central America and back toward Mexico, but that rain chance will be even higher Friday into Saturday as that next tropical disturbance moves in. Scattered areas of rain and storms could give us some decent totals in parts of Mexico where we still need to get some of the rain. Eastern Pacific side, historically quiet, one of the quietest starts in decades over toward the Eastern Pacific. There's been no named storms there. There's that disturbance riding up toward Bermuda that will increase the chance of rain. And there is that tropical disturbance working its way through the Caribbean. Now, some storms will be possible once again up toward New England and watching the Atlantic region of Canada. Some of these could be severe today. The heat has been on. It's been a very active early start to the summer. Watching batches of rain. This here is on our Thursday. Batch of rain tries to move through Nova Scotia, swinging back toward New Brunswick and Newfoundland. And then as we get into Friday, still a chance of some rain. And then we'll watch out for that next system building back to the west that will be moving into Quebec. So scattered storms in Jamaica, 30 to 40%. I'll get into the recap in a second. And then about a 30% chance in the Cayman Islands. Most of that tropical disturbance will be staying down to the south. 40% chance of some rain scattered about in Trinidad and Tobago, and about a 30 to 40% chance the next couple days in Barbados, 30 to 40% chance in St. Lucia. And in these areas, we are in monitor mode now in case a system moves our way on Monday. There could be a named system that would be close by. Isolated shower storm in Grenada, we have a 30% chance, and a 20 to 30% chance St. Vincent and the Grenadines, 20 to 30% chance in Martinique, and a 20 to 30% chance in Dominica. We swing just to the north, 20 to 30% chance in Guadeloupe, and an even 20% chance Antigua and Barbuda, 20 to 30% chance St. Kitts, Nevis, and Montserrat, and holding on to that 20% chance Anguilla and St. Bart's. Mainly dry weather, St. Martin, Saba, and Statia would be a very stray chance of a shower, not a lot of action. 20% chance today of a pop-up storm in Puerto Rico, and a 20% chance of a passing shower, British and U.S. Virgin Islands. Rain chance 30 to 40% through the Bahamas. Could see a couple scattered showers, and only a 10% chance Turks and Caicos. We're mainly dry over the next few days. Isolated to scattered storms, the Dominican Republic. Isolated storm in Haiti, very hot across Haiti from Port-au-Prince down through Jacmel. Belize, there we go on Friday. Our rain chance is going to pick up. Not a complete washout, but Friday into Saturday, we're going to be watching that flood threat with that tropical disturbance moving in. Aruba, the rain chance needs to get higher. Same thing into Curacao and over toward Bonaire. Rain chance 60 to 70% still in Guyana and Suriname. Those pockets of flooding that I was mentioning, about a 60% chance of rain today in Suriname. 40 to 50% chance of mainly afternoon storms in Cuba. And there's that 60% chance Costa Rica and Panama. It could be higher though this weekend as that tropical disturbance pulls off toward the west. Nicaragua, we're going to see a bump in the rain chance Friday into the upcoming weekend. And watching that too as we get into Honduras and that next tropical disturbance moves moves in, and that'll feed more moisture into Guatemala and El Salvador as we work our way into the upcoming weekend. Mexico City, we're looking at a 50% chance, and the rain chance Friday into the weekend will get higher in the Yucatan of Mexico. 30 to 40% chance in Colombia, and about a 30% chance in northern Venezuela. And that rain chance with that moisture feeding up toward Bermuda gets higher for both tomorrow into Friday. So 2 areas to watch. We have that one in the Caribbean, that tropical wave, not seeing any development out of that, but that new area off the coast of Africa, that is going to get closer on Monday, and that can develop into a tropical storm into the next named system. I'm not sure yet. There's a lot of environmental conditions in play, but that's what I'll be watching as we go over the next few days. So we're in monitor mode, so thank you for getting the word out about that. No need to worry, but we just need to get the word out about that. I'll do the worrying behind the scenes, and I'll keep you posted on everything I'm seeing. Thank you for being part of this weather community, and have a good rest of your day.